Hey everyone, in today's video, we're going to talk about how to add materials to your model inside a 3DCoat Textura. So I brought my model in from Fusion. I have already textured this, so if I turn all these layers on, you can see what I've actually already done. But I'm going to show you how I've done all of that, and then I'll show you sort of the end result of what I've done. So I've brought it in, and I've unwrapped everything. So the first thing you need to do is go to Textures, and then calculate occlusion and calculate curvature. So occlusion is this layer here, which is your shadows, and the curvature one is this cavity map here that shows you where all the curves and divots and everything are in your model. I'm going to just turn those both off for now so that when I'm actually modeling it, like texturing it, nothing's going to affect it. So there's a couple of different ways that you can apply your materials. Now the first way is, you notice I've got this brush attached to my my cursor. So for argument's sake, let's just grab this colour here. So I've got my battle droid plastic that I created for a different project. And if I just start painting, at the minute nothing's going to happen because I've not got my cavity map turned, my layers turned on. I'm going to come to the top here and add a new layer. So now what I can start doing is, if I were to go to brush and start painting, you're going to see it's going to start applying that material to that body. Now that works in some cases where you want to add little like painted like details, but say I want to fill the entire object up. What you can do is still on your brush, but go to fill, click on that body, and it will do the entire body for you. Then you can see down here in your texture editor, in your UVs, it's going to show you what's going on. So for argument's sake, let's say that I'm going to take this plastic shabby here, and then let's change this color. Say I'm going to do it to like, let's close this for a second. I'm going to bring this over here. Let's change this to like an orangey color. Something like that. Turn the preview so I can see what's going to happen. Something like that. So say I want to just have this middle part here. So I've got fill selected. If I just click on that body there, it's going to fill that body up. And then anything that I want to be that same color, I can very easily start to add those details in. So say I want to have all of those as the same material, like that. And then what I might say is I want to change that color to this one. So then what I'm going to do is close the editor down, create a new layer, and then say I'm going to get that one again, but I want to keep this one as black, and say I want this part just to be black. Like that. So it's very, very easy, very quickly start adding more materials to your model. So that's the way I would normally. The other way that you could do it. So if I were to turn off that layer and this layer, so get rid of it, is that one thing I did do when I was in Fusion before I brought it in was I added some material to my model anyway. So you can call that like a material ID. So those are the ones down here, surface materials. So if I were to start clicking these eyeballs off, you can see the ones that I applied it to respond to the ones that I'm sort of turning off, like that. So what you could do is, say if I knew I wanted that rubber, so let's say if I turn all the other ones off that I didn't want to be rubber, so say it's just going to be those, so all of these are going to be rubber. What I could do is go to rubber, find one that I quite like, create a new layer, and then what we could do is right click and go to fill entire layer. So if I just click on fill entire layer, automatically it's just filled in everything that I've still got highlighted there. Then if I were to turn all the other things on, those are still unaffected. So then I could create another layer, and turn off those robot hearts and turn something else on. So say I want the main body there. Let's grab that. Okay, so say I want all those to be the same color. So what I could do now is go to my plastic, get to this one, and then let's take this one, for example. Let's right click, and then fill entire layer. And it's going to fill all of those. So then if I turn these eyeballs back on again, you can see very quickly again, I can start to add in those materials to my model. So 3 different techniques. So the brush one, which is the one with the first, where you just create brush. Now, if at the minute I've still got fill selected, so I go back to brush, and then I can start to brush things back on again. But at the minute I've still got a material base there. Now, if I want to get rid of the material from my cursor, excuse me, is if I click that X, I've now got nothing on there, so I'll just have that black colour on there like that. You've got to be careful with the brush, because automatically you will already up here have depth at 100. You want that to be at 0, unless you... Depth will be if you want something sticking out or sticking into the surface. If you want to just paint on the surface, have the depth as 0, and then I can start painting on things as well. So 3 ways. So it will be either you've got your brush and you paint on some little details, or you use the fill tool. So you use the fill and then do it that way, or you turn off the different layers and fill those layers. Now it depends. In order for this one to work, the third one I showed you, you need to have already applied material IDs to your model inside of your modeling software, so Fusion or Maya or Blender or whatever it is. So I will just delete those layers. I'll just show you what I finished up with my ones. So I'm going to turn on everything else. And just using those exact techniques, this is what I ended up with texturing my power drill. So I mainly used a lot of just the fill brush doing it. Hopefully you found that helpful and interesting. If you got any questions, please leave a comment down below, or email me at design with Simon@outlook.com.